That's the way to open a show. That is the way to open a show. The Raider Fester, light bulb in. And folks, I am running. What is it when you're coming in hot? Like I'm coming in hot because I didn't even talk with Fester pregame. There's no pregame. Coming in hot. I am coming in hot, so hot. I don't even have a drink, and I was talking for an hour, and I probably need something to nourish me. But at this point, I'm just gonna go until I can't go. So Fester has
just a wanted man. You're just a wanted man.
Oh my God. I had a great time with the Superfan show for folks that were over there. I had a couple. Eddie Winchell was there, and Jimmy Farrell was there. I think Jack Westafeste was over there for a little while. I was broadcasting on that, so I saw it like, ooh, stream this to your audience. I'm like, yeah, let's fucking do that. So I was late on getting it to the audience, but bam, it popped up, and then there were people that came over, and hopefully they'll come over here. And
Jimmy Farrell's in.
Yeah, Jimmy Farrell's here, and hopefully we'll get everybody else because we are going to talk about, I don't know, was there something that might have happened recently that was important to the Raiders, to their future? Remember what Al said? The greatness of the Raiders is its future. Well, the greatness of the Raiders' future is in its presence. Okay, the greatness of the Raiders is its present, and it started. Well, technically, it started Sunday night when Clint Kubiak, after being goaded in the interview that he did with the NFL Network, I didn't see it, but people sent it to me. So she's like, so you're not going to say anything about your, possible head coaching aspirations, yada yada. I said, oh yeah, well shit. He didn't say shit, but it was an implied shit. Like, yeah, I'm going to Vegas. Of course I'm going to Vegas. So, bingo. And when he said that, and the way he said that, I knew it was not going to be any more stupid. Josh McDaniels takes the job and less than 24 hours later fucking tells them to pack sand. That is our coach. That is our head coach. And Tom Fester, I'm sure you know who some of our assistant coaches are. I don't know who they are. So I've been busy, doing Captain Jack shit, which is like going to medical shit all day, while you are the hardworking teacher and what is it? The molder of minds and mores and kids and all that stuff that teachers do, all of those good things. I'm just a fucking retiree that just goes to medical appointments and does other shit. So, Tom, please tell me what the fuck's going on with the Raiders.
Well, we did recently bring on an assistant coach. So we have Mike McDonald, who we brought in from the Chargers by way of the Titans. So I mean Mike McCoy. I'm sorry, what am I saying? Not McDonald.
Thank you. I was going to say, McCoy. Did we take their head coach too? I was going to say, boy, that would be news if we took Mike McDonald as
McCoy,
our
McCoy, who served as an interim head coach with the Titans, and some people have said, well, he didn't do much with the Titans, but he actually probably exceeded expectations there in an interim position. But again, he brings a lot of knowledge of the Chargers organization, and what Al used to love to do is to infiltrate the enemy lines and bring people over from the enemy camps. I hope that McCoy turns out to be good. Now, he does bring some seasoned experience to Kubiak's staff. Now, it is true, and I've heard this, that because of the fact that Kubiak was the last head coach brought on, that means that some of the coaching vacancies under him are already going to be filled. Now, there is one I'm going to keep an eye on. Jim Schwartz just resigned today as the defensive mind from the Browns. I'm hoping that means that Kubiak will bring him on as defensive coordinator. I think that would be excellent for this Raiders team. So if you could bring in the experience of Jim Schwartz, who also has head coaching experience, and McCoy, who has head coaching experience, albeit not as much. But again, I think those are two key guys who, if you put them on your staff, then you can mold some other younger guys, up and comers, and get them in there. Now, I feel pretty certain that once this season is done, the 26th season, I think that Kubiak will probably add some newer faces to the coaching staff. He'll be in a position where he can do that once the 26th season is over. I'm not cashing in the chips right now and saying that the season's already done. I'm just saying that if you have a couple of seasoned coaches on your staff, there's always going to be some coaching turnover year to year. So I think he'll probably be able to bring in a couple more player guys at the end of the 26th season. But again, we shall wait and see who he keeps that's currently on staff and who else he brings in. I don't know who he may be bringing in from the Seattle staff. I haven't heard anything. We shall see. The name Harbaugh comes up, so it'd be interesting to see if that happens. But I do want to say this: two things, real quick. Number one, out of all the 10 head coaching positions that were there, I was only right on one of them. But I'm glad that the only one that I was right on is
this one.
for the Raiders, the one that counted. The other thing that I want to point out, and something that you and I laid our money down on the table last week when we discussed Max Crosby, and you asked me what my opinion was on Max, and I said the same thing, which I will say tonight, and Max has proven that out. All the talk, all the things that were going on from all the talking heads trying to stir up some controversy and saying Max didn't want to be a Raider anymore and saying that he wanted to play in the New England and all the talk, the fever pitch was there. And Max pretty much shut it down and told everybody he wants to stay in Vegas and wants to be a Raider and is excited about the direction of the team. Now, I feel certain that in the offseason, the talking heads are going to still revive that talk, and they're still going to try to do what they can to stir that pot. And again, if a team is really high on Max enough to pretty much sell the farm to bring him in, I think it really benefits the Raiders to at least listen. Now, having said that, there's a lot of moving pieces going in for free agency, and then also looking at the draft. And I'll go with a couple of sleepers that I'm going to be looking at the upcoming combine for Raiders to kind of keep an eye on, Raiders fans to keep an eye on. So I want to pat both of us on the back for not falling for all the bullshit and saying Max is a Raider and he wants to be a Raider, and just shut that down.
Not so fast, sir. As what's his name? Lee Corso used to.
Lee Corso. Yeah. Not so fast, my friend.
Not so fast, my friend. I mean, here's the deal. Somebody used to say that too. I don't know who the fuck used to say here's the deal, but there was somebody famous who said here's the deal. As of the 12th of February at 9:23 p.m. Eastern, is it? No, it's not daylight savings yet. Eastern Standard Time. That EST. Is the truth. EST, right? That is, kind of, and I just read I didn't just read a book. I've been reading the book from Walter Cronkite for like this past football season. Every time I was on a flight, I would read a little bit of it. I finished it the other day. And
you were reading about a real journalist.
Yes, I was. For people that don't know, Walter was a little bit, but he wasn't as Dan Rather was. So I respect Walter Cronkite. Okay, but Walter used to say at the end of the CBS News, and that's the way it is. Thursday, 12 February, 2026. This is Captain Walter Jack Cronkite, CBS News. Good night. As of now, that's the truth. But I will say there's still plenty of time. And I will say as well, I think personally that Max wants to stay. It's going to be between what happens between now and X point in time in the future that we'll see if he stays. Because if you noticed, Max was not at the ceremony that brought in Clint Kubiak. A bunch of other Raiders were, but Max was not. And I'm pretty sure that was deliberate on his part. Not as a fuck you. It wasn't a fuck you, but it was I'm still hedging my bets. And I really think that Max wants to be, I know Max wants to be a Raider, but it's to what extent does Max want to be a Raider? And he's gonna go back and forth on this until he sees what the Raiders are bringing to him this year. He's going to have more talks with Clint Kubiak. He's going to have talks with whoever the defensive coordinator is going to be. And that's why I want to see, like you want to see, I want to see if Jim Schwartz comes in here, because that will probably inspire Max to stay even further. You got Jim Schwartz, who is a very robust, dynamic, and he's kind of like the Williams was with the Saints that got fired for a year for his bounty shit. But he's an excellent defensive coordinator. He's not a good head coach, but he's a great coordinator, right? Schwartz has head coaching experience. Mike McCoy does have head coaching experience with the San Diego Chargers. I think they were still in San Diego at the time, okay? So he does have, so that is two guys that are on his staff or could be on his staff that have head coaching experience that Kubiak can lean on for how to do this job experience. And that is very important stuff, especially when, quote unquote, if Schwartz is your DC, and God, please make that happen. If Schwartz is your DC, that's half of the team that you really, really don't need to worry about as much, because Schwartz is basically the head coach of the defense on your staff. Now, you were talking about Harbaugh coming in, and for folks that don't know, that's Jay Harbaugh, who is the special teams guy in Seattle. Now, I don't know if he was the special teams coordinator in Seattle. I don't know what his exact. I'm sure you're going to look it up as I banty about of this, but that would literally be a lateral. Boy, that's hard to say. Literally be a lateral transition. Literally lateral. I don't know if that can happen, depending upon what his contract was at the time. If he had the contract and he was up on his contract, then Jay Harbaugh could come over to the Raiders if he wanted to, depending upon what his contract was. And a lot of these things it's either a end of contract and you can do what you want, or a promotion. And that's the other key item here, is who from the Seahawks staff, primarily offense and special teams, wants to come over for a promotion. So somebody that is, and you were talking about this, somebody that was a play caller could be the offensive coordinator, because it is a promotion to go up. Okay. If Jay Harbaugh was at the end of his contract as the special teams guy, then he could come over laterally as the special teams coach. If that offensive coordinator or offensive line coach wants to come over as the offensive coordinator, he can do that because it is a promotion. So you got to look at what the promotion status is, what the contract status is. And a lot of people are already assuming X, Y, and Z, but it's got to be beneficial to the team to let it happen. You can't stop, from what I understand, you can't stop a promotion, but you can stop somebody that wants to go over on a lateral. And that's what I'm asking there. So go ahead there. I was talking enough for you to go ahead and look it up. I knew what you were doing. So go ahead.
He is the special teams coach for Seattle. So that would be a lateral move for him, unless he's brought on in another capacity. He also worked with the running backs and the receivers. So he's got experience with both of those areas as well. So I don't know exactly Number one, whether he wants to come over. I'm not sure how much they're trying to press him to come over. So again, a lot of that's up in the air. I haven't really heard a lot of talk, but he could go a variety of places. He's worked with safeties and wide receivers. He's worked with tight ends. He's got a wide range of experience, but his main bread and butter with Seattle's been working with special teams. So that would seem to be the fit were they to bring him over. Now, there's one other thing I want to point out. There was one other controversy that I think hopefully has been laid to rest. The other thing that's been coming out a lot in Raider Nation is, should we bring back Derek Carr?
No, I'll say it. No, even before you said it, even before that, you didn't hear the name. You didn't hear the name. You know why you didn't hear the name? Because I screamed no, 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 no. You can say the name. You can say it, Fester. Go ahead. Say the name. I promise I won't say anything now.
I love Derek Carr, but Derek Carr is old news. Derek Carr is past history with the Raiders. His skill level had diminished greatly at the end of the 2022 season. Now, how that whole thing unraveled was horrible. It was totally mismanaged. And again, you and I talked about this. I thought really that the Raiders should have hung on to him and kept him through the 2023 season, if nothing more than a backup, and brought somebody else in. I don't even see him as a quarterback's coach, to be honest with you. Derek is great as a podcaster. I'm not sure if you've ever heard his podcast with his brother David. I think he's a much better podcaster than he is a quarterback. And I really think he would do a good job doing commentary on television. I really do, because he can break down he's very articulate. He can break down the plays quite a bit, like Tony Romo. I'm not a big Tony Romo fan, but I got to give him credit in terms of the way he's able to call some of the nuances of the game. I think Carr could be similar. If Derek Carr came back, not for the Raiders, but for any team, I think it would be the biggest mistake in the world. He's already been broken twice, and he's been out of the game. He's overcoming a nagging injury, and this is not a guy who's young. This is a guy who's old and broken. And you can say what you will, but the way the state of some of the offensive lines are now, and he's not as mobile as he was, he's going to get killed. And I think he needs to understand that. And if he comes back with any team, he's going to run the risk of ending up on the shelf and maybe poor old Joe Montana. I saw they paraded him out for the Super Bowl. He was all bent over and hunched over, and I felt sorry for him having to walk out on the field. I'm afraid that Derek's going to be in the same boat.
Well, thank you for that. Hey, there's Pink. I was just on Pink's show. Make sure that you put your channel so that people want to talk now. Super fans football. You can go over to Pink when she has her show. A nice show with fans of all teams there talking football. So yeah, and I get it, Ed. Why are we talking? The reason why we're talking about Carr and the reason why we're talking about Crosby is because that's what everybody's talking about, to get clicks, to get, likes, to get subs, all this other shit. Now,
that's all it is. That's all it is.
And yeah, of course. Yeah. You got it, baby. Go see Pink's show, and she'll hook you up with some good talk as well. But the point is, and that's why I said, the Derek Carr controversy won't stop until it stops, until he makes a decision. Okay. And I agree with Tom Fester here. I don't think he'd make a good quarterback coach. He might make a good, offensive assistant, because you got to work your way up anyway. Why the fuck does he, just because he's been a pro quarterback for so many years, upleap, your ascendancy, we're going to make him the offensive coordinator. Fuck that. No, Derek Carr needs to learn the ropes if he wants to go the coaching route. Okay. I too think, and I've never heard any of his podcasts with his brother. I have no desire to, honestly. I don't want to listen to Derek Carr and David Carr talk about anything. Nothing. I don't care if the subject is the price of a $2 whore in Pahrump. But they wouldn't do that because Derek Carr is a minister. You see where I came here there? You're not going to hear that from a Derek Carr broadcast. Why? Because he's a minister, unless he's talking about the book of Ezekiel, paragraph 37, yada, 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 where they smite the whore from the pillars. Yeah, I'm making this shit up, guys. I'm telling you. If the point is that Derek Carr is very literate because he's a preacher, just like Matt was saying. He's going to be he's already a preacher. Okay. So he doesn't want to say, well, I'm going to be the, no, Derek, you need to fucking work up. If you want to be an analyst like Romo, he'd be a good analyst. He would be a good analyst. I think because Rich Gannon is an analyst like that.
Ed Winchell gets the quote of the night. He said, the Carr brothers are like herpes. You can't get rid of them.
True. Yeah. And if you do get rid of them, you need a lot of medicine.
Exactly.
But they do come.
I would like to have Derek Carr as a friend and as a confidant, but not as a coach.
Yeah.
He's a good guy.
For those that are saying that he can be the quarterback's coach or the quarterback's helper, I don't know, Tom, is there somebody in our organization that has a lot of experience at being a winning quarterback? I don't know. The name escapes me, but there might be somebody already there.
It could be the same guy who came on and said, you didn't take me in favor of that guy? No. And that's a misquote. You are cleaning up the quote, Tom. Clean up the quote. He called Derek Carr that motherfucker. He said it. That motherfucker. You're keeping that motherfucker over me? Yep.
That's not happening. That's the quote.
If you think that Tom Brady is bringing in Derek Carr, you are fucked.
Oh, I got him the curse. You see how it is? It's contagious. Potty mouth is contagious, man. It's awesome.
It's past 9:00 and all the kids have gone to bed.
Thank you for bearing with me, man. I got it.
Yeah. No Derek Carr. Max is staying, and hopefully Jim Schwartz is on board. So those are the three things. Mike McCoy's already there, but and I'll tell you this: I heard somebody in Vegas said this. Max was actually invited to come and be part of everything, but after some discussions, Max said, "If I'm there, it's going to take away from the announcement of the head coach because all the microphones are going to be in my face and it's going to take away from it." So he kind of separated himself from that and said, I'm the one guy that you don't want there because again, all the attention is going to be centered on me. And again, that may be a little bit of an egotistical thing to say, but if you think about it, I mean, Max is the guy.
Yeah.
It's true.
No, it's true. Hey, Max, how do you feel about this? What are your feelings on the new head coach, Max?
Yeah.
What about no. It is Kubiak's day, and I still have yet to see the full press conference. I haven't. Murph had some cut-ups from it. Our friend Murph, I got to get him back on again. He's awesome. Murph had cut-ups from it, and other people have had cut-ups from it. He said all of the right things. Now, I will say that a certain fucking coach came in here a couple years ago and said all the right things, like, it was a fumble. Yeah, that was fucking Josh McDaniels coming in on the coach, because he was swinging that Patriots swill, but he said the right things. The difference between Josh fucking McDaniels, it's kind of like, his name is kind of like, what was it? Oh, what was the name? Oh, Bucky fucking Dent. The middle name writes itself for Red Sox fans. Okay.
Red Sox fans everywhere.
Bucky fucking Dent, right? That's his name.
Years and years. If you asked any Boston Red Sox fan who was the most vilified baseball player of all time, they would say Bucky Dent.
Bucky fucking Dent. Get it right. I know you're
And
cleaning it up.
and behind him would be Bill Buckner.
Yeah, Billy fucking Buckner. Fucking Buckner. You know, and I'm trying to do a little bit with the accent, but yeah, that's true. So, and for Raider fans, it's Josh fucking McDaniel. So he said the right things, but Kubiak said the right things because he believed it. He believed it. He believes, and by the way, from his background, remember his father is a Bronco, right? That was on the Bronco teams with Elway. So he comes from Bronco lineage, but he also comes from Shanahan lineage. So he has his father's play calling after there's a name, what the fuck? Accoutrement or something like acuity. That's right? It's acuity, right? He's got his father acuity for offense. He has Shanahan's acuity for offense, and he has younger Shanahan's acuity for offense, all rolled up in one. But he also knows how to play football. He knows that when the Raiders are the Raiders and they are good, it's better for the NFL. And for those that are saying that we have a Judas in our memes, you know, that he's gonna fuck things up just because he's a Bronco and he's a Shanahan disciple. It will be the worst thing he could ever do for himself professionally. He won a Super Bowl. Why would he want to come to a team and screw him up?
There's only 32 head coaching jobs in the NFL, and you don't take on a head coaching job to screw the pooch and to set yourself up for nothing. Kubiak wants what he wants to do, and hopefully what every Raider coach coming in wants to do is to turn this ship around and to bring winning back to Raider Nation. This is something that's only happened twice in the last 25 years, and we've only had 2 playoff games and lost both of them. So we haven't won a playoff game since 2002. I mean, the last playoff game that we won was the one that sent us into the dreaded Super Bowl against the Yuccaneers, and hadn't been the same since.
Yeah, the fucking fake Pirates, man. I tell you, hate that. You know, I will say that I can't wait. And I because no day is promised. I don't like to get on this, you know, that I'm short for this earth or whatever. But, you know, no day is promised. And I'm going to put my milestones for something that I want to see. Okay. I want to see a winning season again. And it might be that 2027 might be that season. Okay. I'm not saying it's going to be 2026. 2026 is the rebuild. It was like, even when I was talking with Pete fucking Carroll, that's the other fucking name that's in the middle, or Brennan fucking Carroll, you know, those are the middle names. That Pete, this was year 0, and they're going to have to mold and meld. I think Kubiak's going to come in, and that power curve's going to be quicker for him, because he's not long in the tooth, and people will mold to what he is trying to say a little bit easier. If Schwartz comes in and takes over that defense, it's going to be a lot easier for those guys to come over to a Jim Schwartz defense, right? So that'll help out. So this will definitely be year 1 of the rebuild from jump. See what he has, gets rid of the people, and I think they will gel a lot quicker under Kubiak. I know he's obviously a first-year head coach. Get it. But I think that he will be able to take that offense by the balls and let the defense go under hopefully Jim Schwartz. And Mike McCoy is an offensive-minded guy, if I'm not mistaken. He is an offensive guy. So he's got offensive acuity. We just need to make sure that our defensive guy is worth a spit. And so if you got McCoy in there to kind of be like that senior offensive assistant and help him out, and if you got, I think they were talking about Janico being the offensive coordinator. That's a good thing as well. And thank you again there, Pink. She's shouting out Raider Nation. That's awesome. If you got that going for you and you have the people to do that, I think we will be a lot by the end of this year. Like maybe we're talking January of 2027. We might be able to see maybe a couple wins in a row, vice one win to end the year. We might be seeing the ascendancy, kind of like it was with Gruden. Gruden's was his second year when he needed to go to Kansas City to win that game to get the Raiders to 8-8. Okay. And the Raiders came out of that game, if we ain't going to the playoffs, you ain't going to the playoffs either, motherfucker. And we were 8-8. And then the very next year we were 12-4. And I think the mold is there for a team that can come together a lot quicker. And I see a lot of promise with that, especially with, and we're going to talk about this. I think, what is the probability, Tom? Because it's not 100%. What is the probability that Fernando Mendoza is our pick, number one?
I'd say 98.999%.
Okay. I like that. Because I was going to say, about 99%. And you even went a little under. I like that. You even went a little under.
Never say never, but
right.
all things are pointing. I don't think there's going to be any team that can step up and offer everything that the Raiders would need to be able to jump off of that. But now here's the thing: before the draft even hits, and Matt Marinovich has pointed this out. Got it. First things first. Got to start putting that offensive line together. Before you even bring Mendoza into the building, you've got to go ahead and start cultivating that off. And I say cultivating because that's what they need to do. That offensive line. You have Colton Miller coming back from injury. He's a placeholder. Maybe he starts off the season at tackle, perhaps, but I'm not saying you count on him. I say you need to go ahead and start making arrangements to replace him either early in the season or maybe even before the season starts. I don't know. JPJ, make a decision. Put him at guard, I say. And Lincoln Kennedy has said the same thing. You have a guy like that who's a big guy, a mauler. You don't put him at center. You put him in there where he can pull and take care of people and go downfield. You need to go ahead and determine who the center is going to be. We've talked about that. I think that's going to be a big offseason acquisition, regardless of whether you go with Linderbaum or my backup, Connor McGovern, the guy from the Bills. I think one or the other. You got to get one of those two guys and plug them in at center. And then you have to get another offensive lineman, either guard or tackle. I think you have to pick up two really good offensive linemen. And that will be the beginnings of putting that protection shield around Mendoza. Now, here's the other thing. Jack. People are saying, okay, who's the backup going to be? Well, you and I have already mentioned you've got Aiden O'Connell already in the building. He's got experience, but here's what I would do. And again, here's what I want to, and we will talk about this more at the draft. I've been putting together some different mocks, and what I would do, and what I'm looking at right now is Raiders pick 174. Okay, so it's buried further down in the draft.
Third round?
No, I think that's like a sixth round, I believe.
Oh, okay.
2, 3, 4, or fifth or sixth. I can't remember what round it is, but it's buried down there. But at pick 174, I'm going with the quarterback. And again, the two names that are there that have been available are Cade Klubnik from Clemson and Drew Allar from Penn State. Now, neither one are guys who are going to come in and light the league on fire, but you don't need that. But what I don't want to see the Raiders doing is paying $40-50 million for some overpriced, overhyped backup, somebody who's going to either come in and be a placeholder when you need to take all that money, all that available cap that you have, fix the offensive line, bring in a running mate on the edge to team up with Max because Malcolm Kuntz ain't doing it. And Tyree Wilson is not the guy. And Tyree Wilson has now just become an overpaid defensive lineman. What I would do, and again, you and I have talked about this. if I were the Raiders, I would go ahead and try to put together a package with Tyree Wilson and another draft pick to try to move up into the first round. And I'm
Mm.
looking at Eagles, I'm looking at Vikings toward moving back into the back end of round one and going ahead and picking up who I think is going to be the defensive player of the future, and that is Caleb Banks, the defensive lineman out of your home state, the University of Florida.
He ain't my school. The same
Okay.
state. I know you talking that product to it, and he's a very good player, by the way. Caleb
Yeah.
Banks. Yes,
But
he is.
but I would love to be able to go ahead and draft Mendoza first overall, and then move back into the tail end of the first round and pick up Caleb Banks. So if you could do that, and then you can start putting together other pieces. But that's what I would do, and I would see if some team would bite on that. Maybe you could give up the Raiders' current second round pick and also throw in Wilson. Maybe that's enough to stem the tide. Maybe you need another draft pick as well. But here's the thing: Wilson's coming up on his fifth-year option. The Raiders aren't going to pick that option up. There's no way. There's no way in hell that they're going to pick that up. So you might as well go ahead and try to see if you can deal him and get some type of draft capital for him. Maybe, just maybe, a team like the Eagles can reclaim him, and if you put him around some of the great pieces they have, maybe he can flourish. But he's not cutting it with the Raiders, and they're not really going to be able to recoup anything like a first round pick like that they spent on him. He was a number 7 overall pick in 2023. He just hasn't done it. He was supposed to be this guy who was just as strong as an ox and could move around quickly. And he's strong. I mean, that's granted, but they put him in there in the defensive line just as a space eater. And he was able to make some plays, but he just hasn't cut it. So I think the Raiders want to see if they can package him up, can maybe get a little bit of draft capital in there, but see what they can do to try to move up and start crafting this defense of the future. And that could be one piece of it right there.
That's awesome. I mean, I hadn't even now I was thinking like you that we need to get back up into the end of the first round.
Mhm.
I wasn't thinking about putting Tyree out there, but that's not a bad thing. The problem with that, and hear me out on this, the problem with that is that there's so much fucking film on Tyree that it's like, so you want us to give this first round pick for a first round pick that hasn't done shit, but pick his nose, and maybe a 6th round pick, so okay, maybe Tyree and a 2nd and a 6th for our number 1. You'd have to make it, I don't know, you'd have to make it sweet. You'd probably have to say, well, Rob Kraft has to give us a weekend at the Wild Orchid as well. Maybe they would jump on that. For those that don't know, look it up. It's easy. I'm not going to say anything else. But you're going to have to make it so that would be a good pick. Tyree Wilson, and I was very happy at the time for Tyree. I said Tyree Wilson I thought was going to be the pick. But Tyree, I'm sorry. Yeah, we picked Tyree. It was either 7 or 8.
Number 7. He was number 7.
Yeah. And I'm sorry, but he is so non-memorable that he'd have to sneak up on a I don't even have the analogy for it. He hasn't done shit. He hasn't done shit. And it's a shame because I thought he would be a very good asset. Now, granted, he had plantar fasciitis too, right? Correct? But he had a foot
I'm not
problem.
sure if he did. He had a foot problem. I'm sure it was plantar fasciitis. But and again, going back to 2020, if Henry Ruggs doesn't have that tragic accident, I have no doubt Jalen Carter would be a Raider.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
They just were not gonna. They were just not gonna risk it, and they almost pulled the trigger there at the end. And who only knows what Jalen Carter could have done on the defense? Maybe nothing. I mean, because again, the Raiders have squandered talent up one side and down the other, except for Max. And of course, Max, you put him on the field, people will just double and triple team him. And how many holding penalties did they not call against whoever was blocking Max throughout the year. I mean, they would grab him by the horse collar and tackle him and everything else, and he just wasn't getting any penalties. But I don't know. It'll be interesting to see if they pick up anybody for free agency to go on the opposite side, or whether they draft somebody as an edge rusher who could possibly be his running mate. I'm looking at the third round. There's a guy by the name of L.T. Overton. He's an edge rusher out of Alabama. If he is available in the third round, he could be an excellent pickup. And again, that could be somebody young that you have on a rookie deal that I think Max would love to work with. But again, it really depends on what the Raiders do in the offseason if they address the edge rusher need. I'm just hoping they don't pay a whole exorbitant amount for somebody like that. We'll have to see. That's where I put somebody get a value pick in there.
Yeah, I've seen a mock with that kid Overton. And I've also said that maybe we go back and say, yo, Caleb Vaughn, we kind of fucked up. We'd like to have you come back to Vegas and do the things that you did before we shipped you off, or actually that we didn't ship you off. You left to go to chase a ring, and you were close, but no cigar. How about coming back to Vegas and doing it with us again? Because Caleb Vaughn Chason had played a hell of a year last year, and the reason
I would love to see Chason back. I would love to see him in a Raider uniform.
Yeah, the reason why he went there was because the Patriots said, we're going to give you a little more money and we're going to guarantee you a starting position. And they did. And I don't want to hear all of the bullshit about Spillane and Chason and Epps and Mumford. And by the way, Mumford didn't go from the Raiders to the Patriots. He went via the Browns practice squad. So it wasn't a lateral move. It was via the Browns practice squad and then to the Patriots. Okay. So, and did he do okay? Sure. He's playing right tackle for him, if I'm not mistaken, right now. But of all of those people from the Pats, I'll take a flyer on. Give me Chason, and we'll go from there. Okay.
Here are the top edge rushers right now that they have listed in free agency. They've got Trey Hendrickson of the Bengals at number 1. That's a no-go because you're gonna have to spend too much money on him. And of course, Max is the guy. You need a running mate. You don't need somebody who's going to upstage him. The next guy on the list is 11-year veteran Khalil Mack, 35 years of age. That's $18 million. It's too rich in my blood for somebody of that that's been in the league that long. I think that's just too much money to pay. Hassan Reddick is number 3 on the list. Tampa Bay.
Oh no,
he's 8 years in the league. He's 31. That's a $14 million price tag. That's the previous average. So I don't think that is going to be a good play. Joey Bosa, no. He's been in the league for 10 years. He's in Buffalo now. Now he's kind of a journeyman. And next on the list is Malcolm Kuntz. So I think some team is going to overpay for him, and that's great. If he can get a payday, go for it, young man. But again, I don't see that happening. Now, Jack, you will be interested to know that 5 places below, 1, 2, 3, 6 places below Malcolm Kuntz
is
on the edge rusher list. Huh?
Is Caleb on Chason?
No, Arden Key.
Oh my God, Arden Key is still playing?
Arden Key, yes.
Oh, Titans?
Titans, yeah. 8 years into the league. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, he's there.
And you know what?
Yeah.
That would be, I liked Arden Key. He had a case of the Mondays every game. It's like he was just, what's like the chick that was in, Office Space, somebody's got a case of the Mondays. Well, Arden Key had a case of the Mondays basically every day up to the game. And I think maybe on Monday he probably had a case of the Sundays, but he was always a day late and $1 short,
Yeah.
If he came, and actually it's funny because Arden Key played pretty, I would say pretty well for the Titans. There's the other guy that was a Raider defensive lineman that's on the Titans, and I can't remember his name, and he's a defensive tackle, big son of a bitch, and he plays fucking well. Okay. Hey, thanks again for showing up.
Talking about.
Yeah, I can't remember his name.
I know who you're talking about.
Big old son of a
Tyreek. No, that's not it. I can't think.
Oh man, yeah, but he's still around. Yeah, I'd give him $2 million just to hang out. You know, by the way, you're paying that $2 million. It's not coming out of my account, but you know, yeah, but he's still in the league. Arden Key. Man.
Yeah, Arden Key.
Yeah, where is our boy, fucking Cleve Farrell? But is he still on the Niners?
I believe he is with the Niners. Yes, and he's on that list. his last contract. What he's got is an average, and of course, at the very top is Trey Hendrickson at $29 million. What do you think that? What do you think our boy is at?
Cleve Farrell? Is he below? Yeah. He's below Khalil Mack, right? And Khalil was at 18, right?
Yep.
I would say he's probably at 16 per.
1.1.
Oh, good.
1.1 million.
Well, he's not. Well, then that's not bad. I mean, 1.1 ain't bad. At least he's been doing something the last couple years. So that's not. Yeah. Hey, EMAC, I don't give a fuck, man. Okay. We're going to hopefully re-sign Eric Stokes. Okay. Yes. And we're going to hopefully get Mayer. I don't care what
Eric Stokes.
Yeah. We need to re-sign Eric Stokes. So I don't want to hear any stupid bullshit about Mr. Seahawks. We got this, we got that, and the other thing. Just relax. Be very happy you got a Super Bowl. I don't hear shit about Tariq Woolen. Okay. I don't care. You're not going to get Michael Mayer from us unless it's for somebody that's definitely worthwhile. Because I tell you what, Kubiak does like to run a lot of 12. He likes to run a lot of 12. And we have two fantastic tight ends to run a lot of 12. So I don't want to hear shit.
Eric Stokes is number 6 on the list as far as cornerbacks go. Trayvon Diggs is at the top, 19.4 million. Jamel Dean is 13 million. I think that would be an excellent pick.
I'd take Jamel Dean.
If he could re-sign Eric Stokes and pick up Jamel Dean, oh man, that would be great. That'd lock down both corners.
Yep, I'd do that. Plus, you have Porter as your extra guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean that you go down the list of everybody who's available. Darnay Holmes is the next Raider on the list, and he's at just a little over $1 billion, and he's way down the list. So there's not, and below that you've got Tristan McCollum, who just basically came on at the end of the year as a step up. Kyu Blu Kelly. I loved all that he was able to do as a contributor toward the end, making a name for himself. But again, he reminds me a lot of Sam Webb. Sam Webb, as you remember, was a guy who kind of overplayed and was able to move into a starting role because of injury. But that I see Kyu Blu Kelly as somebody like that. I credit him for all his passion and his hard work, but he's just not one of the guys that you can lean on as far as being one of your stars.
Yeah, he's a Jag. I'm sorry, he's not he's a Jag. Is just another guy. It's not the judge advocate for the Navy, because that's what I usually think of when I think of him. He's just another guy. He's a body filler, like I said. Darnay Holmes. Sam Webb, very good picking out on Sam Webb. And I like Sam Webb, but he was just another guy. He was a guy that you would throw in there to fill a space and fill a game and to fill a couple plays. That's it.
But I'm hoping that one of the first things that Kubiak does as a head coach is get together with the brain trust and say, let's go ahead and put this Eric Stokes thing to bed. And again, he's only been a head coach now for 2 days, so he hasn't really had a chance to really get that going yet. But I want to go ahead and get this thing done before the start of the year. Let's go ahead and let's get that thing done, set it to rest, and then we can start focusing on the main things, which were the offensive line and again the back end, the linebacking side of the defense.
Yeah, and but for that, I think the first, well, I'm hoping. Okay, again, hope above hope, because yes, I am an offensive lineman. Okay, is the first thing that I want done is offensive lineman signings, seeing who we got, that who's a free agent, maybe grab them from other teams, from the people that are available now. And when does legitimately, if they're not on a roster, if they're free agents, we can pick them up at any time, correct? So
right.
If they're not on a roster, then they're available now. I would look through that list just to sign guys that have promise, right? And just to show people we are going after offensive linemen who are available that show promise before we go after guys that we want to really fill the roster out with. Because remember, those are birds in the hole. Okay. If somebody has, that thing. By the way, I heard that we can cut Crappa, and yes, that is his name. We can cut Crappa, and it only costs us $1 million, but it'll save us $6 million. I think I saw that line. Great.
Not only would it save us that much money, but probably save a couple of lives as well.
Yeah. No more lookout blocks from Alex Crappa. Okay. And I can't wait to see that happen. EMAC, I don't know who these people are. I don't know who Anthony Bradford is. Okay. To me, that sounds like an attorney, Anthony Bradford Esquire, law officer. I don't know. I don't want any fucking Seahawks right now, unless I'll tell you ones I do want. Okay. That's Shaheen. Okay. Walker, who is a free agent, if it comes to fruition. Could you imagine a backfield with Walker and Genty? Wow. That would be wonderful. And Shaheen,
I wouldn't go that route, Jack. I'm going to give you another diamond in the rough here.
Ooh, okay. I want to
give you another diamond in the rough. I've been keeping an eye on backs in the low ends of the draft ever since Isaiah Pacheco came out from Kansas City and caught fire. And I thought, well, there's got to be some guys in there. So I looked at one of Mendoza's teammates, particularly in the national championship game, and the guy's name is Roman Hemby. Roman Hemby is a halfback who reminds me a lot of Pacheco, and I've been able to pick him up in the mocks down at 181 and 184, which is pretty low in the draft. And both times I've gotten a really good grade on that. So if you can bring him in, one of Mendoza's guys who's got a good motor and brings a skill set of being able to catch the ball as well, that's a guy who can team up really well with Genty. You're not bringing in a guy to supplant Genty. Genty is your man. He's the one that is going to be the cog of that offense behind, but you need somebody who can step up in the event of an injury, or somebody who can complement and be able to spell Genty on occasion, or even do a two-back set. So there's my diamond in the rough there. I'm not bringing in, you may bring in a lower priced free agent. That's great, but I would draft a guy like Roman Hemby and put him in there. Chris Collier, we just re-signed him, young back that had spent some time on the practice squad, and he got a lot of burn in the preseason last year. So I think that guy could possibly be ready to step up as well.
Yeah, I like Chris Collier. I think that he would. And I forgot that he was. Well, I didn't know he was still available. I'm glad that we re-signed him. I thought that he would be an excellent change of place back for Genty, because I tell you the one thing that you were saying before, I think the last 2 games, is that you don't want to see Genty on the field, not because we don't want to win, but because you didn't want to get him fucking injured behind that bullshit fucking offensive line that we had. And I agree
I
with
didn't want to get him killed.
Yeah.
I wanted to protect him and figured if we can't run the ball, there's no sense in risking injury to our star. Because again, this guy is to gain all that he gained behind the line that he had, or lack of line that he had. That just means the 2026 season, if we can fix this offensive line, we're going places.
Yeah, and I did put this up because I will address that. The only reason why I put that up is because I do know about Rachaad White. And Rachaad White is a very capable running back that the Tampon fake Pirates have. Okay. And the other guy that gets more play for Tampa Bay, I can't remember his name, but Rachaad White was basically been a forgotten person. Okay. Yeah. Depending upon his price tag. But Rachaad White is of a mind that I'm going to come here to start. That's not the right mindset. If Rachaad White comes in here with the mentality that I'm going to be the extra guy that comes in and spells the Genty because he's our main dude, then yeah, I'll take that, depending upon his price tag though too. Okay. Hey, thanks again.
He's right around the $2 million level, just a little bit below that actually. So that would be a good value pick if he were able to if they were able to pull that and make that happen. But I think you're better serviced by going with a young back. The way running backs are now, you almost have to get the rookies in to get the young guys in, because they're only looking at 2 to 3 years in the league to either crack the starting lineup or not. And then they move on, and if you get an injury, that kind of decimates things there. But Kenneth Walker's there, and again, he's only 25 years of age, but having had that Super Bowl MVP, he's gonna parlay that into some big cash. It's not going to be with the Raiders, I can tell you that. It'll be with somebody else. But I hate to say he'll probably end up on a team like the Cardinals. But you'll see what happens. The Cardinals, in my opinion, are the worst team in the league, top to bottom. Now, again,
Browns.
Well, the Browns have a couple of good pieces, though. That's the thing. They've got a pretty good defense, and they've got one of the premier, if not the premier, edge rushers in the league. So again, when you have that, you can't really say that they're the worst team in the league. They're certainly dysfunctional. Everybody can say that, but I think top to bottom, the Cardinals are by far the worst. They don't have a quarterback, in my opinion, and they just don't have much, and they don't have a lot of hope either.
Yeah, and actually, that's a very good question, Clem, and thank you for that. And by the way, Mikey, thanks for coming in. Say hi to your girlfriend / fiance / possible wife by now, because I haven't seen you guys in a while. Wonderful. God, I love beautiful ladies that I get introduced to by their boyfriends, and I enjoy the chance to hang out with them. Yes, I'm an old salty bastard, but great lady that she is. And there we go. That for 2 things, because Raider Clem was talking about it, and MC Mikey was saying the same thing. Mike McCoy is a very, very positive addition to this team, because until you have an OC who's named, until you have an OC that's named, and people are already, counting, the dots, the Janico is coming over. Well, if he doesn't come over, if he's not available to come over, Mike McCoy is a very capable play caller. Okay. That's what got him hired, because Mike McCoy was the OC, I believe, in Denver, and then he went to San Diego as the head coach. That's what I if I remember right, that I'm tell me if I'm wrong, but he went from Denver as a play caller or the OC in Denver to go to San Diego as the head coach. I know that there's the connectivity there. So he's been around the AFC West. So he knows a lot of the particulars of the AFC West, even though he was in Tennessee last year. But yeah, if we don't have a OC designated by then, yeah, I don't have a problem with Mike McCoy being the OC on paper until somebody else's name. So that answer, that's my answer. Your thoughts on that there, Fester?
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I really want to put this in the hands of Kubiak and let him be the one to make the call. I don't know. I'm sure that he's already scoured the wires and tried to coerce as many people from Seattle as possible. Shieldhouse, the guy from the Rams, was a guy that
I
we've been
talked to
talking
him.
about for a while.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
that's like
that would be an excellent choice.
Yeah, that's
if they could get him over. His name was bantied about quite a bit as a possible head coach, but you could bring a guy like that in. I think that's a good pull.
Yeah, I mean, and I tell you what, I'd let him be although Kubiak says he's going to call plays, and I think he will, while he thinks he can do it. But if you bring Shieldhouse in as the offensive coordinator, because that's a step up. He was a passing game coordinator. To make him the offensive coordinator, that is a step up. I do that in a fucking minute, and make him the OC, and then Kubiak would learn how to be a head coach. Okay, Frank Reich is not available as an OC because he got a job with somebody last week. EMAC, I can't remember who it was, but he is somebody's OC this year. He got signed already. He would have been a good name, but he's already signed. Look it up.
Yeah, I'm just curious to see what Kubiak's first moves are going to be. Now, one thing that I'm heartened about, and this is kind of going under the radar a little bit. One thing I did not see with the head coaching announcement that I liked was the fact that Mark Davis was not anywhere near the dais. He wasn't up there. This wasn't the Mark Davis show. He was back in the audience. Can't think of his name now. Spytek was introduced, and Spytek pretty much ran this thing and then introduced the head coach. So it was pretty much his show to run, and I like that. We haven't had that again, and you and I have talked about this. When Reggie McKenzie was brought in as the general manager, the way it was, and he was able to pick who his head coach was. And after they fired Dennis Allen, brought on Del Rio, things were still operating the way they normally should, where the general manager is the one that makes the decision, and they decide on the head coach. But then when Mark Davis got the stars in his eyes and decided he wanted to go with Gruden, he gave Gruden all the power. And of course, we all knew that when Mayock was brought in as a general manager, that was just a de facto general manager. Gruden had all the power. And so when Gruden was gone, everybody knew that Mayock was going to be gone at that point, and things have just been topsy-turvy. They have been upside down ever since. We've never been able to get the ship righted, and this is the first time that we've been able to do that. When they brought in Ziegler and the guy that you like to call McShitnuts, when then
I didn't know. Again, I'm going to give credit is due. That's a Jack Kenna. Jack Kenna called him McShitnut, right? I told him he couldn't do it while he was still our coach. I said, Jack, I got to respect the fact that he's still our head coach. So please don't call him McShitnuts. So he didn't.
I just called him McDumbass.
Well, yeah. And then when he wasn't our coach, I called him McFired when he was gone, McFired. Yeah. And it worked.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got to give.
When they brought those two guys in, tied together at the hip, you knew that if one of them was gone, they both were going to be gone. There was no way that one could survive and not the other. So for the first time, Davis has really put this thing together where he has the guy in charge. And apparently all things are pointing to the fact that Spytek is in charge. Yes, he talks to Brady a lot, But again, Spytek's running the show, and it remains to be seen if the coach, if Kubiak can last the length of the 5-year contract. I'm hoping.
Yeah.
We will see.
I actually think that because, and you were talking about it, this has been the reset that the Raiders have needed for a while. And Spytek understands this was the worst team in the league last year. Worse than the fucking Cardinals. You were talking about them. So, yeah, we were the worst team in the league last year. We have aspirations to not be the worst next year. I think that can happen. But Spytek understands that, obviously the Rome wasn't built in a day, and a franchise is not built in 3. Okay. But he's going to build this team the way that, God, I can't remember his fucking name here in Tampa, because he was a disciple of the general manager here in Tampa. Okay. And normally I have his name right up here, but I'm going to play old man again. But he's going to build the team the way the Tampa Bay fake Pirates, I'll give them due, the Buccaneers, under their general manager, who is a very astute gentleman, built the Bucs. Okay. When I talk about this guy, I'll give the name that they are capable of. They are the Bucs under him, and I can't remember his fucking name. But they suck, not because of what he did as a GM, but because of what the team did under their coach and their players. Okay, but God, I'm sorry. What's help me out here, Tom? What's his fucking name?
You're not talking about Lynch, are you?
No. Lynch is the GM over in 49
San Francisco.
Yeah.
You're not talking about Liam Cohen, are you?
No, Liam Cohen is a coach up in Jacksonville that fucked over the Bucs last year. The GM.
No.
GM. But
You
that guy,
former GM?
no, he's the GM of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The GM.
Okay, hang on. I've got you covered here.
I know. See, I usually talk with
Jason Licht.
Jason Light. Yeah,
Jason Light.
It looks like Licht, but it's Jason Light.
Yeah.
Jason Light, who is the GM of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Spytek is his disciple. Okay. And I will give like I said, I obviously I don't like that team that's here,
He's been there for 12 years.
Yes. Jason Light, I believe, came from the Titan organization. I might be wrong there. If you got his Wikipedia up, you can tell me if I'm wrong. But Jason Light came from the Titan organization, and he came down here to Tampa Bay, and he has done things correctly. Like I said, 12 years here. So the guy knows how to build a franchise. And he was there.
He came from the Cardinals. He was with the Cardinals 2012 and 2013.
Okay, well, why am I
previous to that? He was with the Patriots from 09 to 11. Prior to that, he was with Arizona. He was with the Eagles for a couple of seasons, and then cut his eye teeth with the Patriots in 2002. He was actually the offensive quality control coordinator for the Dolphins in '96. So he's been with the Dolphins, the Patriots, the Eagles, and the Cardinals.
Okay,
Tampa Bay.
You know what? I apologize. I remember what it was now. Jason Light's assistant GM went to the Titans because he learned.
There you go.
He learned under Jason Light how to be a GM, and he went from the Tampa Bay Bucs up to Tennessee, and he's been a decent GM up in Tennessee. I knew there was a Tennessee connected.
Yeah.
And Mikey, yes, he's staying with us until you hear otherwise. Is Max staying with us?
Schwartz has not been hired yet. Jim Schwartz. I was just double checking to see if he had got picked up anywhere. So, like I said, he's just fresh out of Cleveland. So he's still out there, at least for the moment.
Now, let me ask, because again, he resigned. So he gave up the contract. So he is not. He's a free agent. So we don't owe Cleveland anything because he resigned. He says, "No, I quit." So the rights are not now. That's why I'm asking, because everybody's saying, "Well, Cleveland," and that's why I was saying, "Well, Cleveland owns his rights. So if you want him, you got to go through Cleveland to get him." But if he resigned, then I'm like, well, maybe he is a free agent. So I think he can be picked up. And he did that deliberately because he knows somebody's going to come calling for me, because that's how good of a DC he is. And I'm hoping it's us.
Yeah. We'll have to wait and see. Well, Jack, that about does it for me. Now, here's what I'm hoping. I don't think that Murph is doing a show next week. I know that he and Swag Jeff did the rundown yesterday, and he said they're going to take a couple of weeks off. So there might be a possibility, if you can kind of bang the drum a little bit, maybe we can get us all together next week.
I will be due diligence. I will, at least, because
I can do another. Well, I can do another day other than Thursday. If you want to do it on a Wednesday, I've got no problem with that.
Well, I do know that because I got to do a show with Peggy, and because I hit her up today, and I said, don't we have a show coming up sometime? So she told me, so I think it's next Friday, which is what, the 20th? Yeah.
Next Friday is the 20th. Yes.
Yeah. I know I'm going to be doing a show with Peggy on next Friday. And normally I don't do shows on Friday, but for Peggy, I'm like, yes, we will do it on Friday. Yeah. So I'm free. I mean, other than if I am going to be, because the week after I'm in Vegas for, the Max Crosby event. So I'm traveling like on Thursday. So I'm definitely not doing a show on Thursday before the event, but we will do something for them. But yeah, hit up Murph and say, I would love to have, if he's alive, and he can bring Jeff with him if he wants. He can have a mini show without, tell him to bring Jeff with him too. And Michelle's invited too. It'd be like a show that they don't have to fucking produce. They just come in and
exactly.
And I don't have, tell them I don't have all of the bells and whistles. It's just I just push buttons, and I don't have all the bells and whistles. So I'm sorry.
Yeah. Gotcha. I'll reach out to them, and if you'll do the same, maybe we can twist a couple of arms and get them on there.
I'd love that, man. I love listening to Murph and Jeff. And if I ever get up there, I'm going to try. I'm going to get up there. I'm going to try to get in the studio and let them know. I saw Mosh there on what I was just touring around. I'm like, who the fuck is this guy that looks like me? And I thought, oh yeah, that's Mosh. I remember Mosh. So yeah, good to see.
Well, Jack, take care. Have a great week, everybody. Thanks for tuning in once again. Jack, you've been a busy guy tonight.
Yeah, but I enjoy it, man. Do my medical shit and then do my shows, and that's what I enjoy. So I appreciate you coming in.
Hopefully we'll have some good news next week, or some things to talk about. But again, let's get the Stokes thing taken care of. Let's bring a couple of coaches on board, and let's start working on this offensive line.
Yeah, I like that, man, and we'll do that for sure. And Ed says take care. Fester, always a pleasure. Go out with go out. There it is. Got to go out with the bulb, man. Got to go out with the bulb. Raider Fester, T-Hom, T3, whatever the fuck you want to name them. Thank you, sir, for being here. Awesome. So you waited this long, and it is 10:30. Another half an hour at most. That's what I'm doing, because I got stuff to do. I don't have any medical appointments tomorrow that I think of. So I can actually sleep in. Okay. Because I haven't, remember, this is the off season. What have you been doing? I watched the Olympics. Like I said, I've caught up. I watched, I watched all 2 seasons of Landman. Man, I like that. Man, I like that show. Billy Bob Thornton and being there in the I probably want to do like Tulsa Kings with Stallone. That looks interesting. I watched the first episode last night of was it Starfleet Academy, and I was so tired. I was so tired. I didn't even watch the full show, so I'm going to watch that again. But I like that one. But yeah, Tulsa King, and I can't wait till Landman season 3. Can't wait till what is it? Fallout season 3. Can't wait till Paradise season 2. That's coming up, I think, in 2 weeks. I can't wait for that. So I like to watch good TV. So what are you going to be doing while we're waiting? And yeah, we'll have Raiders talk, and we'll have sports talk, and we'll talk baseball and other shit. But I'm going to bring them in one more time. And don't goad me. Don't goad me. No goading shit. Just,
Goading?
No goat. Being a troll. That's goading. Goading.
Okay, I swear I was not trying to be a troll. I was just making stuff up. But
okay, well that can lead to trolling though if people don't know, and I didn't know. That's why I asked it. But yeah, look it up. Goading.
Anyway, how you doing, man?
I'm okay. Other than I will say this. Well, because I have all these fucking appointments and shit, and you know that next Friday I'm gonna have a brand new hot tub. And which I can't wait to have.
$500.
500. You better multiply that, son.
I mean, how much do you get though?
Do you know what a cost is of a hot tub and the 220 to put into your lanai to make sure that you have the power for said hot tub?
What?
You said $500?
That's my price guess.
Yeah, multiply that by 20.
I'm guessing it's like $1,000.
Multiply $1,000 by 10.
Multiply $1,000 by 10. $2,000.
Dude, your math sucks. 500 times 20 is 10,000. $1,000 times 10 is 10,000. Okay. I'm just saying, I'm not trying to make you look silly. I'm just saying $500. You couldn't buy a fucking used refrigerator and put water in it for $500 and put it on your patio. And then you wouldn't even have, because the power to get to your filters, that's why you have to use 220. And that's $2,000 for all of the copper wire that you have to use in order to do it. So yeah, $500 my ass. Okay. $10,000.
$10,000.
$10,000. Yep. So anyway,
1092 divided by 3 is.
You what?
1092 divided by 3 is.
Okay, is
364.
Okay. All right. I'll take your word for it. Why, you have a calculator on there? But yeah, sounds about right. Anyway, whatever. How are you doing on your gleaming of your 12s winning the Super Bowl? Are you already talking? I want to hear this. You already thinking that the 12s are going to repeat next year?
I don't think so. I gotta be honest. I really don't think so. I don't. Like, I am not like one of those Eagles fans where I'm hyping up my quarterback out of freaking nowhere, and then get all butthurt about it. Like, I don't think Seahawks fans will go that far, if I'm going to be completely honest.
Yeah.
And did you see the Super Bowl colors just came out? Like
for next year?
Yeah, it's like orange and aqua ocean color, aqua marine ocean color. Okay, similar to the Dolphins colors, but the Super Bowl, I guess, next year is in SoFi.
Well, if it's orange, that puts the Broncos in play,
or the Bears.
I can see that.
Like, I really think the NFL should get rid of the Super Bowl colors. Like, I am so sick and tired of people think they know everything and think they know what teams are going to be in there. Like, I wish it was just back to plain old gray for the Super Bowl numbers.
Like, I think it would be good if you, and hear me out. Okay. Whatever, Ed. I give you accolades, Ed. Yeah, I didn't say anything bad about Tom. I like the fact if you put it in black and white and gray.
Mm-hmm.
Don't read into that. Well, that's the Raiders. The Raiders.
Like, does it mean all these colored teams are actually going to make it? No.
Yeah,
that's the problem with the Super Bowl colors is people think this team is going to make it, this team's that. It's like, we're not going to know. The only team that's done it so far without knowing is San Fran and KC.
Yeah, now they've been pretty close.
Vegas.
They've been pretty close on when they said that these are the colors. I think they had it correct with KC and San Fran, though, right? That was right on. I thought
it was red and purple, but a lot of people thought the Ravens were going to make it, but didn't.
Yeah. Well, they were right on with. I mean, I think the last couple years they've been close. So if you say it's orange and like an ocean color, so maybe it's the Broncos versus the Panthers because the Panthers have like a teal, right?
I think it's baby blue, but I don't think that's even close either.
Well, baby blue puts the Garglers in if they wear the throwbacks. Baby blue, I don't know.
I'm gonna have to send you what the Super Bowl colors look like.
Yeah, that's fine. Harry, you haven't been rude. No. If you were rude to me earlier, no, you're good, brother. I didn't take any rudeness out of you. Trust me. If I think you are and EMAC, tell Harry, if I think somebody is being a rude son of a bitch, I will fucking tell them. Would I not?
You tell them.
Yeah.
But I'm just ready for baseball season personally. I think I've seen a couple of Super Bowls from Seattle as it is. And I want to see the Mariners just win the World Series for Christ's sakes. Or even at least make one.
Well, you got to make it to at least win it, right? So, and they were close this last year. They were close, and I think it would have been a great World Series with the Mariners there.
But do I think we would beat the Dodgers last year? I don't think so.
No. Well, let me ask, okay?
Yes, sir.
Because I get this shit all the time, and I'm gonna piss off all my Dodger fans here, okay? But if the Blue Jays had played the Phillies this past year, who do you think would have won that series?
Were you guys in the NLCS?
We lost to the Dodgers, and I don't know if it was I don't think it was the NLCS. I think it was the second round.
Who did the Dodgers play in the NLCS?
Who did the Dodgers play? Boy, I've so fucking forgotten it.
But if you're talking about between Toronto and Philadelphia, I think it would be coming down to the wire where the Phillies actually barely pull it off.
Well, I think it would have been a better series. I know that, and yes, I'm going to put on my.
I think it was Milwaukee. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Brewers.
the Brewers. Yeah, the
a lot
Brewers.
of people are wanting the Mariners and Brewers, at least from Mariner fans. That would have been an amazing freaking series.
Yeah. But yeah, the Brewers. Thanks, Ed. I was going to say, who the fuck did they play?
And I think that's when Milwaukee got swept as well.
Yeah, Milwaukee got swept. And I tell you.
Or we could have seen the Mariners and Padres World Series.
No. Pods didn't have a chance. I think that yes, I am saying this. I am biased. So you will hear my biasness as a Phil. In fact, I'll make it real fucking obvious. Okay. I will bring out.
I try to be biased as long as my teams play good.
Right. Here it is. For those that are wondering, there's my Phillies hat with my fucking wrong side. That is my Kyle Schwarber autograph stitching on my Phillies hat. So here's my bias.
Oh yeah, I heard Nick Castellanos is off the team.
Finally. And
by the way, Adolis Garcia is an amazing signing by the Philadelphia Phillies.
Yeah, I think that that's going to be a very key signing to us. I think the Phillies need one more we either need one more pitcher or we need the pitchers that we have to step up and to be what they should be. Because
I mean,
again,
you guys have Ranger Suarez,
no,
or
no, we do not have Ranger Suarez.
who's that Salsa guy you have? Salsa or Sosa? What was his freaking first name?
Well, there's Christian Sanchez.
And I
yeah,
think you guys have a way better chance to make the World Series ever before than without having Bryce Harper. Because remember, the Nationals pulled.
I know you said that, but I think that Bryce Harper to the Phillies is what Max Crosby is to the Raiders. Okay, Harper's team has won a World Series without him. Max Crosby is looking for that World Series, and he might have to go to another team to get it. But as of right now, I think we're going to try to keep him. But I think that the Phillies are a better team overall with Bryce Harper there, and he might not be what he used to be, and I think that's why he kind of got pissed off at the general manager saying, "Well, he wasn't all that in a biscuit." And he took it to heart. I think Bryce Harper this year is going to have a great fuck you season.
What if you guys can get Eugenio Suarez?
That's the third baseman, right? From the Diamondbacks.
He did play for the Mariners too.
Okay.
I think he came back to the Mariners this past season and only had that one good playoff game.
I don't know enough about him. I just know the name. I know that he was somebody that they were looking to get.
Yeah.
And I would be mad at that, but I think that the
Dodgers are going to regress heavily, though. I really think so.
I mean, EMAC, honestly,
their pitching is going to regress. I think Kyle Tucker is going to take a step down as a Dodger, and I think they might go under 80 wins. And the Tennessee Titans are going to be better than what people think. I'm just kidding about Tennessee, but
well, I tell you what, Ed Winchell and Bishop is a very, very heavy Dodgers fan. Okay.
Yes.
So, but since Bishop isn't here,
they have nobody at pitching outside of Shohei and that other dude. Since
well, Sasaki's still on that team.
And
they got the other Japanese guy, Sasaki.
Okay.
Yeah.
The Padres might do better than the Dodgers. I think they might win the NL West.
Okay, well, see, there you go. I'm spicing this up for a bet, not on my money.
I'm not betting on anything yet. I'm saving up because I already booked plane tickets to go to Reno for April.
Harry, you have a great day yourself, sir.
And I have to buy a hotel room, unfortunately, for my next paycheck.
What are you buying a hotel room for your next paycheck for what?
I'm going to Reno because I have my buddy's wedding to go to.
Well,
I'll be going down there for like 2 days.
Save up for that. When's that occurring?
It's on April, the end of April.
Okay. Save up, man, because I know you got your job, but I don't want you to overspend, man. I want you to save up for that, okay?
And I might gamble in April, so while I'm down there. Because we all know Nevada is a gambling state.
Nevada is a gambling state. So
yep.
I'm like you, man. I can't wait for baseball season. I really can't.
Yep. And what is your... I have one more question before I leave the show. What is your most impressive coaching hires, like, out of all teams?
Well, I'm going to be biased.
I know you don't give a shit, but you can just
No. I'm going to be biased. I think the Raiders got the best head coaching upgrade than any team. Okay. And the reason why I say that is this. Normally, the Raiders are the team that gets the second or third or fourth choice of who they want. But I think this time, and yes, it does have to do with the fact that they have the number one pick. Okay.
I don't think there's a lot of OCs available, but I think the most impressive hire to me is the Tennessee Titans. Not do they hire Robert Saleh as their head coach, they also got Daboll as their OC. Like, I wouldn't hate the Robert Saleh hire as long as they get a good offensive coordinator to go with it.
Well,
And he's a great defensive mind.
Well, actually, I said that the Raiders were going to pick up Robert Saleh with Daboll as their OC. So I had the right combination, just the wrong team.
And I think Cam Ward is going to work out a little bit better than what Saleh had to deal with for Zach Wilson.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Like, I think their offense might need a little bit of work, like maybe getting wide receiver to replace Treylon Burks, reunite A.J. Brown, or upgrade their secondary.
Yeah, you mentioned Treylon Burks before. Who does he play for, and why are you putting him on our team?
Because he's a younger receiver. Maybe has a chance to be better for another team. And also, he was good in Arkansas in college. So maybe he has another potential chance to be good for somewhere else.
Paul, Raiders, that's you as well. Raiders. In fact,
and I noticed you want like a lot of these younger guys that potentially it's going to take another few years for them to work.
So
I don't know what big piece you would want besides offensive linemen, everything else.
No, well, we need offensive linemen, and then anything else we got is a bonus. But Paul, for you, for doing that, EMAC yes. EMAC likes to leave the show with a Raiders chant. So EMAC, I'm going to let you go ahead and do that. And remember, EMAC
all right.
is a Seahawk buddy, but he does like to lead the show with Raiders. And so go ahead, EMAC, impress Raider Paul and everybody here, sir.
All right, Captain Jack and everyone in the comments. Hope you all have a good night. And let's go Raiders! Ow!
All right, brother. Thanks again, EMAC. We'll see you next time.
See you, Cap.
All right. Not bad. No, I'm not going to Bakersfield, Paul. I will be on the cruise. In fact, I have a legitimate reason why I'm not going. I'm going to be on the Raider cruise, which I believe is May 15th through the 18th. So I won't be in Bakersfield. Nope. In fact, I need to pay for my final portion of the Raider cruise. I got to pay that within the next 2 weeks. So no. But if you're going to Bakersfield, fine. But come on out to the Raiders Legends charity cruise out of Long Beach, May 15th through 18th. If you're interested in that, come see me, and then we'll also have some more people that are going to be doing shows. We've already had Jeff Barnes has already been on. We've already had, I believe Ira's been on my show. If he hasn't been, he will be. I know that Jerry Robinson will be there. And I'm not sure if I can't see. I've had these people on before, and I can't remember. Yeah, I think Jerry was on already. So we'll have him, and maybe we'll have Ira on. And there's a couple other people. Maybe I can get Mike Dotterer, who's going to be on here, or I need to be on his show, and then he could be on mine too. But I'm not going to be in Bakersfield. But if anybody else wants to be in the show, you got about 4 minutes of clock time. Because about 1 hour and 40 minutes, if you want to come into the show, you got about that long. I'm going to put up the link again. So I'll put it in the chat. So if you want to come into the show, come on in. Chat link is up. And I appreciate everybody that's been here. Again, we had Tom, Raider Fester, T-Hom, T3, goes by a couple different names, but talking Kubiak. And yes, I am very happy that for the cruise, May 15th through the 18th. May 15th through the 18th out of Long Beach. If you're interested, let let's see here. Hit me up. May 15th through the 18th. I believe that's, I share. Where's my, yeah, I got my phone here. I can tell you that. Turn my phone on. Hello. Okay. Make sure it's there. Okay. Okay. Come on. Come on. Come on back. There we go. All right. God, it's still locked up. Come on, damn it. I hate when my fucking phone. 1 second. Okay. Done. March. That. Come on. Can I? Okay, there. Then I go next month. April. Yep. May 15th. 15th through the 18th. Yeah. 15th is a Friday. 18th is the following Monday. Yeah, leave the 15th and come back on the 18th. Yes, sir. Out of Long Beach. There will be, let's see here. I know that there are 5 former Raiders on it. I know Jeff Barnes, Ira Matthews, Jerry Robinson, Kenny King, Mike Dotterer. Those are 5. What you want to look up is Raiders Legends Cruise. Google that, Raiders Legends Cruise. Get that information. Erica Stevens is the lady that is running it. Ericka Stevens, Stepphens. Yes, I believe you do need a passport. I'm pretty sure, because we're going to Ensenada. So that would be, and that's, I'll tell you what, Matt Marinovich, he is on staff. So that's the good thing, that the Raiders retained him. If Schwartz isn't brought in to be the DC, elevating Rob Leonard to be the DC makes a hell of a lot of sense. I think he would make a great DC. I really do. Would I rather have him or Jim Schwartz? I would rather have Jim Schwartz, but I hate saying that he's a great consolation prize, but he is a great consolation prize. Rob Leonard is a fantastic coach, specifically for the defensive line. So I would do it. Which games am I going to next year? Paul, as of right now, and I have to look at the schedule, I usually go to every game in Vegas, and then depends upon the other games. Now, I'm the only reason why I went to Kansas City last year was because my buddy who I will be with at the Max Crosby event, he said, dude, I want to go to Kansas City. I don't like going to Kansas City. I really don't. I would go to Kansas City again because of the friends that I have in Kansas City. And there's also a couple really nice Kansas City fans, seriously, that I would go to see, Chiefs fan. I would go there because of them, but I don't really have a hankering. I really don't. I don't have a hankering to go back to Kansas City. I'm going to New Orleans. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna like me. Vegas is right up the street from me. Vegas is right up the street from me. So yes, I can see me going to. New Orleans. I can see me going to New Orleans. And the thing about New Orleans is that at least the stadium's indoors, because New Orleans is hot as fuck. I remember we opened in New Orleans. Remember the last time we were a playoff team? I think, what was it? Was it 16? Was it 2016? Yeah, 2016. maybe that's not the last time we were in the playoffs, but that's the last time I remember we opened in New Orleans, and that was the Del Rio year. New Orleans is great. Fucking great. And it will be rolling deep in knowledge. So I don't know when it is on the schedule, but yeah, you can pretty much count me in. Things can change, but yeah, I'm definitely thinking about going. So let me see. Our away games. Let me see. Was it what team? What division we playing? I can't remember. I think we're playing the NFC North, right? So that means that we are playing in Minnesota. I think Minnesota. Yeah, well, good to see you there, Paul. We'll see you. I got to look at, man, I used to know who we were playing. I don't have it looked up, but I can't wait to get on. But I may be in Kansas City, may not. I will probably not be in Denver. Honestly, I don't mesh well with fans that are ignorant. I may or may not be in Los Angeles for the same fucking reason. I don't mesh well with fans that are ignorant. And there's a bunch of ignorant fans in Denver. There's a bunch of ignorant fans in Los Angeles. I don't need to go. But having said that, thanks there, Paul. We will see y'all. I can't wait to get on out. I will be at the draft. I will be at the Crosby event next weekend. The next weekend? 2 weekends, 2 weeks. Can't wait to see you all there. So until then, we'll see y'all. Have a great rest of your weekend, and I will see y'all, if all goes well, I'll see everybody on Sunday for the show. So take care. And we are. Yeah, we're up at 11 o'clock. Great time. Yarg, everybody. We'll see you. Raiders. Yarg. We'll see everybody. Have a great weekend, man. For sure.